long time no see. I have been busy doing other things than booktube. In October, I went to Salem for my birthday, and I had a vlog planned, which is now posted, but it took a month for me to edit it. And then November, I had things planned, and December, I was like, I'm gonna do Vlogmas, and here we are, nearing the end of December, and I have only posted 2 vlogs, and one is over a month old. But I have no excuses. I'm back though, and I am here with the 2-book tag. If things sound off, I have COVID. I have the COVID. It finally caught up with me after 2 years of avoiding it. My sister and I unfortunately got it. But yeah, I'm doing the 2-book tag. I was tagged by the lovely Maxine's Little Nook. I think the original person who did this was Kelly Reads a Lot. I will have both of them tagged down below in my description so you can follow them if you would like. I think I'm supposed to tag other people. I can't think of anyone at the moment. But they will also be tagged down below. But yeah, what is the 2-book tag? No idea. It seems to be a series of 5 questions that talks about 2 books within certain categories. The first 2-book question is 2 books that I read recently. I planned for November to do a book talk recommendations video where I picked out a handful of books that Book Talk, was hyped about, and I would read them and then give my honest opinion on them. I did read those books. I never did film the video, but I probably will. It might be for January or it might be for November if I don't forget about this channel. But the 2 books that I read recently for that are Lightlark and The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I can't remember if I finished The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo before or after Picture of Dorian Gray, but this is also a book that I've read recently. I loved all of these. I really want to save my thoughts for these for the other video, but to make it short, gay, loved, cried my heart out. Please, somebody call me Heart Eater. I will swoon. I will marry you on the spot. Plot twist of all plot twists. I cannot shut up about this book. I have so many lines underlined. I just want everyone to read this. I want my own gold-foiled copy. Amazing. Those are the books that the 3 books that I read recently. Highly, highly recommend. I will do more in-depth talks about these 2 whenever I get around to that book talk video. Second question, 2 books that are nostalgic to you. I also have 3-ish for this. The first one that I picked, though, was this really battered copy of Bridge to Terabithia. I remember watching the movie first, crying my heart out. I was a child watching another child die, and another child grieving that death. Insane. I don't think my parents knew that such an innocent movie like this would cause me such emotional damage even years later, but it did, and it remains one of my favorites. So when I found Bridge to Terabithia again, in my school library, or my classroom library in intermediate school, which is about 5th grade, I think, I picked it up, not knowing it was the same movie that I watched years before. And then when I realized that it was the same story, I stole the book from my classroom. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I have a track record of stealing books from my teacher's classroom that I really enjoyed. This happened to be one of them. A really good book, tears my heart out every single time I read it. If I want just something short and easy and I just want to feel things, I will read this, because when I think of my childhood, I do think this, so it's very nostalgic to me. I actually cut out 4 books. Chosen for this. The next one I chose was The Hunger Games. I am obsessed with The Hunger Games. I am so excited for A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes to come out, the movie. I remember going to theaters to watch The Hunger Games, the movie, when it came out, first one, and I had really long brown hair, and my sister and I, we braided our hair, threw it over our sides, and I had a Katniss Everdeen t-shirt that I wore, and it was a really good time because we went with my my sister's friends, and we watched the movie, and it was just, for little girls, it was very inspiring to see someone like that on screen. And for a long time after, we actually hosted, my family and I hosted my sister's birthday party, and we had a Hunger Games style party where we had all these Nerf guns, and we had a cornucopia set up with some paper bags of like snack foods and extra bullets and just fun stuff like that, and we would play the Hunger Games for her birthday, and it was just super fun. So when I think of the Hunger Games, I'm just thrown back to that just chaos that I embraced as a child. 2 other notable mentions, though, would have to be the Spiderwick Chronicles. I adore them. I still have the journal, a Spiderwick journal, where I went out into my yard and I would look at leaves and I'd pretend that, you know, I had a brownie living in my house, and super fun. The other one would probably be the Shatter Me series. I remember reading that in middle school, and I devoured those books. That was a good time. The Shatter Me series is the one series I remember just absolutely tearing into. And honestly, if I ever need something to bring me back to my love of reading, I will probably read the Shatter Me series, because it's good. Yeah, those are 4 books that are very nostalgic for me. Definitely cried over all of them, I'm sure. Next question. 2 books for school that I'd read again. I remember reading A Wrinkle in Time. This was also a movie that I watched before I read the book, and then I read the book for school. And I have read it over the summer. I think I did a video on the book versus the movie, and I had a lot to say about the new movie with this book. But this is just, it's a short as in the writing isn't, you know, for my adult age. It is for younger audiences, but it's homey and it's nice. So I would definitely read this again. The other book that I'd probably read again is this. Both of these I did the book versus the movie on, so you kind of already have my thoughts if you watched that. But in brief, in school I was supposed to read this. I never did. I spark notes it, aka I read summaries of each chapter to pass my class. Still pretty good. I read it over the summer, and I admit, for a short read that I just, you know, want to have a good time just vibing with nothing in my head, read it. I would read it again. So those are the 2 books from school that I would read. Another one might be The K. I think that's what it's called. It's about a boy who gets like shipwrecked. Or Lord of the Flies. I remember really liking that, but I also really like books where you get shipwrecked and having to survive. I enjoy those, so The K and Lord of the Flies are right up my alley for that. But those are a few books that I'd probably read again from school. Next question. 2 books I've wanted to read. I've had Tell Me Another Story, which is a poetry collection, sitting on my shelf for at least a year or more. Looks like this. It's a beautiful book. I really wanted it when it first came out, but the pages have blanks on the back of like each one, and I couldn't justify purchasing the book because I thought it was a waste of paper. And then a couple years go by and I really wanted it because I really like the writing style. I love the story that gets told by, I think it's Emmy? Yes, Emmy Marucci. I love the way she writes and how she tells her stories through her poetry. So I really wanted it, and I got it for my birthday, and I've yet to read it. I've read some of it, but I haven't finished it. So this is one, that I've waited to read, that I've wanted to read, and I probably will finish it, if not by the end of the year, sometime early next year. The other one that I am wanting to read is How to Build a Home for the End of the World. So I reached out to this small press. This is Perennial Press. They wanted book reviewers to read some of their work and leave honest reviews, and I mentioned that I run a booktube channel and I will happily read their book and leave a review. And they surprised me with this copy. Even came with a cute little postcard, and the inside cover has this sort of diagram, which I thought was really cool and interesting. Same with the back. And so I'm wanting to read this. I had a lot of plans for other book series that I would be reading, but this one, it's short, and I'm excited because I kind of just want a book to just sit down and devour that I don't need too much time set aside for, if that makes sense. So, like, I probably wouldn't pick up light work and read again, but something this small, I feel like would be best. That's that one. And the last question is 2 books you'll probably read. Again, probably these 2. I am in the middle of 2 other books that I was hoping to be done with reading, but they are so difficult to get through that I am probably going to DNF them. Did not finish or will not finish. But after that, I can't think of other books that I'll probably be reading beyond this one. My brain is not working at the current moment. I know I have a lot of poetry books that I ordered in my Querencia Press poetry book haul that will probably be read very soon. I did finish one poetry book called On Sun Swallowing, that I've been meaning to read for a while. Oh, I've got Ocean Vuong's Night Sky on Exit Wounds, I think that's what it's called, that I am probably going to read very soon. Also, Richard Seikens' Crush, I've been meaning to get into. And I have another collection, selected poems of Mary Oliver, which I will also probably be reading. I really want to get back into poetry because I haven't been writing in a while, and what better way to be inspired to write poetry than to read poetry? So those are the plans of books that I'll probably be reading and that I want to be reading soon. But yeah, that's the 2-book tag, or in some cases 3 or 4 book tag. I hope you enjoyed this short little getting to know me kind of Q&A, but make it booktube-ish. I had fun giving a little spiel about some of my favorite books. Let me know what some of your favorite 2 books are. What's something that's nostalgic to you? I love books that are nostalgic because it's just so homey to be reminded of those happy memories. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!